is, man. He has been picked as the PFA Player of the Year, Van Dijk. I think it was pretty much between him and your boy Raheem Sterling. But for me, I felt that even if Sterling had won, I think he would have deserved it, because Sterling has had an amazing season. The amount of hat-tricks he scored, the goals he scored, how he's improved as a player, his effectiveness to the team, one of the first times on the team sheet. But this goes back to what one of my favorite football players said, Bart Simpson, aka Philip Lam. And I think this was either after he retired or just when he was about to retire, because this was all through this whole Messi Cristiano thing. And I think this was after, I think either Messi or Cristiano had just won the Ballon d'Or. And I remember, and I just wish I could save them quotes. If someone can read the quote, it'd be great. I remember Lam saying that I think that we need to change the Ballon d'Or voting. There should be best attacking player, best defensive player, maybe even best midfield player, because it is very biased towards attacking players. I get here that goals win games, and the players that always grab the headlines are attackers. But guys, I know my subscribers and myself that we are football enthusiasts. We are obsessive about football, and we look at the game in far more detail than the regular man. Like the regular man, regular person, your regular, they don't really, they don't know what is going on. But us, us guys, man, we know we know what's going down, man. So, we know the detail of what's happening in this, So that's why, when you look at what Van Dijk has done, I just believe that his performances and effectiveness, it's close. It is close. But put it this way, if Sterling isn't for Man City, it will harm them, but they'll still be able to ride. You take Van Dijk out of Liverpool and you have, let's say, defensive partnership of Joe Gomez, who is good with either Lovren or Matip, they will suffer. They will suffer, because first of all, Liverpool's defensive center has been amazing, and I think the key thing that they defend very well as a team, and that is a credit to what Klopp has done, because Klopp, I just think what Klopp has been given kudos for that. Wow, you've really improved as a manager. You've really developed more into your game. You've not been a slave to your philosophy, which is an amazing philosophy, one of the best offensive philosophies in the modern game. But he knows that, look, man, I need to add upon my philosophy and give my philosophy a bit of buff up by saying, okay, what's happening defensively, which is done very well. So Liverpool defend very well as a defense, but you need that leader. You need that guy to look towards. You need that Barres, you need that Cannavaro, you need that leadership. And I think for Van Dijk, he's just been amazing. And I think the effect he's had on the team is true. It has been really big, because it can't be understated when you have a defender that makes things look easy. Because again, let's talk psychology right now. If you have a defender that's constantly making last-ditch tackles, running back, is shouting at you, is just making that last-ditch attempts to block, it makes you wayward as well. So it will affect you as well. But if Matip, Robertson, Alexander-Arnold and people are looking at that Van Dijk, and everything that he does is just simple, reading the game, he sees what's happened. He never has to make a last-ditch attempt to make a tackle, because he's read the game so well, which is why the most important attribute of a defender is the reading of the game. If you read the game well, you don't have to make a last-ditch tackle. You don't. If you read the game really well, you don't even have to make a tackle, because you've already been to the spot where the ball is going to be, because you just have an understanding and a pattern of play as to, I know where the midfielder is going to pass that ball. I know where the striker is going to run. I know how the striker is going to come in, and you can stand in a position where you're not actually overselling yourself as to where you're going to be. So you can say he's going to play that through ball 2 yards from me, but I'm not going to stand there, because then he's going to move. But I'm going to stand two yards back, pretending that I don't know. But as soon as he plays the ball, I am moving before he moves. So then I'm not oversold myself, and I'm there. And that's just what the B2 Van Dijk does, is that he knows that, all right, I know where the ball is going to be. I don't need to be there. But as soon as that ball is played, because I know where it's going to be, I'm going to react quicker than that striker. And that's just what he's been able to do consistently for them. And I think this goes back to something that Frank de Boer said. Again, I remember I was reading this in Nigeria way back in the magazine. Frank de Boer said, and Frank de Boer was one of the best defenders in the world. And his key thing was reading of the game. He never had to make last day's tackles. And he said that you can do 5 things in 2 steps. You know, you don't need to, it doesn't need to take you 5 steps to do 5 things. You can do 5 things in 2 steps, which is that you don't need to overexert yourself as a defender. As long as you understand the game, you're always clued in. So basically, and I just think that for Van Dijk, he has been so effective for Liverpool and he's transformed them. And the reason why Liverpool have been so difficult to defeat is because you have Van Dijk that's always at the right place at the right time, and also he's leading. He's instructing people as well. He's telling people where to go. He's like, because you see, someone like, I think he's similar to Lam, where he's not a guy that will shout and scream. He can shout and scream, but he doesn't really overexert and shout himself and scream. But he will be able to tell guys, boom, yo, what the hell is happening? You know, be on point, be on point. So I think this was huge for Van Dijk to win this, and I think that it's some. See, the reason why I like this is because I think that this opens up us appreciating all aspects of football players and the roles they play within this game. Because growing up, the defenders were the stars. When I was growing up, obviously you had Batistuta, you had Crespo, you had Weah, you had all these guys. But people like Desai, Thuram, Stam, Nesta, Cannavaro were just as big as those dudes. So when you were going up against Italy, you were not worried about the attackers. You were like, how the hell we're going to get G, get 1-1, like, so basically you were like, how are we going to get a G against Nesta or Cannavaro? And you know that if Italy score first, it's going to be a long day, because those guys will defend from now until Revelations, until Judgment Day. So, and I think after we lost that, because what we now had was this whole Messi Cristiano era, and we had the era of the inside forwards, and we had the era of like the ball playing to defenders, and there was much more of an onus of everybody now has to play. Old school defenders, forget. If you're a defender, you now have to be good on the ball and be able to play up with the ball. So the appreciation of defenders got lost. So we were like, okay, defenders, what the hell? Like, they're not that important. So, but what we are seeing, and I think you're now seeing the rise in the elite as well. I think the elite could be, one of the truly great defenders. Where does the elite come from? Where does Van Dijk come from? Oh, could we see a new golden age for the Netherlands? Potentially, maybe so. I just did that including. So I think it is very good that we are seeing Van Dijk get appreciated like this. And as of now, you're going to put him as either 1 or 2 as far as the best central defenders based on form, like legacy. Sergio Ramos, like for me, the best modern defender, let's say last 5-6 years, you could go to Sergio Ramos, because the guy has the performances, he's got the consistency, he's got the wins, he's got everything. So Ramos is like legacy. But based on form as of right now, what you're doing right now, in the words of Eddie Murphy, what have you done for me lately? The Verge. You gotta say the Verge done something. So I think well done to him, and I think well done to the people picking, because it could have been very easy to go with Sterling, because Sterling is the one that really grabs you. He's the guy for the defending champion. He's the guy that scored the crazy amounts of goals, and I think goals are always the thing that fully grabs us. So it's good that people have said, yeah, you score those goals, but let us look at how well everyone has done their role, because Van Dijk isn't required to score goals. He's a defender. So you can't judge Van Dijk based on his goals. You can't judge an N'Golo Kante based on his goals. You can judge Zan based on his goals, but you also got to look at his assists and his playmaking. So for Van Dijk, it's like, how many clean sheets do they have? How many clearances? How many tackles? How many one-on-ones does he win? How good is he on the air? How difficult is he to defeat? How many mistakes does he make? And you've got to now look at that and couple it with Sterling. And if you couple it to the both, Sterling has done bloody amazing as an attacker. Got to roll with the Verge. You've got to roll with the Verge. So, and I think for Van Dijk, man, who knows? Because the key thing is about him being consistent, but who knows, this could be our next Nesta or Cannavaro. I don't know, because he has the potential to be, but it's about, all right, man, you've had an amazing season for Liverpool. Now we're not looking at Euro 2020 and what you're not going to be doing for Netherlands, because he's the captain of the Netherlands team, and him alongside De Ligt, that is a quality defensive partnership. So I'm personally excited to see how well they do as a defensive pair, him and De Ligt. So, but who knows what the Virgil can be, because I think it's good that he's in this conversation because of the kind of Messi, Cristiano, because I'm tired of the whole Messi, Cristiano crap. I'm tired of all that whole crap. I'm like, okay, let's just go beyond this. So I do think that it's an amazing thing, and who knows? I mean, so Ballon d'Or voting, so how does the Ballon d'Or voting work? So is that so let's say it happens in 2020, so it would be the whole year in 2019 or 2018. So tell me below, what is the parameter that they do for the Ballon d'Or voting? Because look, man, if the Virg keeps on doing what he's doing, why can't he be on the podium? Why can't he be on the podium? But I just think, based on us being football enthusiasts and watching the game in more detail than others, I think we have to look at defenders, right backs, goalkeepers, DMs, left wingers, all these kind of guys, the guys that don't have the ability to grab the headlines, don't have the ability to get the goals or the winning goals on multiple occasions. But again, as I said again, people say, oh, well, goals win games, so what can defenders do? So therefore, attackers are more important, because attackers are the one that will win you the game more times. All right, then. Okay, let's Van Dijk just say, no, I'm not going to play well. His attacker can score as many times as he wants. Mane and Salah can score any times he wants, but the other team will just outscore them if the defense is a lot worse. So if your defender doesn't do his work, you can keep on scoring, but you'll end up losing the game. And at the end of the day, I don't care how many goals you score. I want to see your wins. I want to see your trophies. And those wins and trophies do come with goals, but they also come with how you ensure you don't concede. The importance of the defense is just as important as the attack, because again, when you go back to old school, in the old days, and AC Milan or an Italy knew that, let's get that one goal and we're home free, because those teams knew that if we score, they ain't scoring against us. That's what they knew. So old school AC Milan and old school Italy knew that if we score, thou shalt not pass. I want to see my boy in Milan, 2010, man, Uncle Moon, man, so 2010, man, I know Piqué scored that G, but, that was one of the greatest thou shalt not passes ever. So I know that's what I'm saying, man. I'm going to do a retrospective on, but yeah, but so for Virg, well done, congrats, and let us see whether you can perhaps define yourself as the best modern day defender for both Liverpool and the Netherlands. Peace out, stay tuned. Remember, follow me on Twitch. I will be live twitching every day on Twitch, and I will discuss more about Virgil van Dijk and other things on my live. Join me live. The link is in the description box below. Peace. Thanks for watching the video. Now think about becoming a Football Hot patron by pledging an amount each month, and then gain access to exclusive content only on the Football Hot patron page. Peace. Head over to the official site at halffootballhot.com or just click over here.